Hi everyone, this is Lean and welcome back to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today I'm making a Happy Meal card, creating my own background using some washi tapes. So first of all, I'm going to start with coloring in my images. Now these are from Better Together by My Favorite Things and I just adore the cuteness of all of these. Now I'm going to use my Copic Markers. So this paper you can see here is Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper. And I stamped out these images using Gina Design Amalgam ink. This is an ink that I'm using for everything because it is a hybrid ink and it can handle water but also Copic markers. So that's just handy to have a hybrid ink any brand can do. This way you cannot be wrong when you start coloring. For this card today I don't need the whole image, or not of everyone, but just to be sure and have more wiggle room, I'm coloring all the critters completely, although I'm going to cut a part of them. Yeah, I know. So this is a bear. I looked the critters up after I colored them in, let that be sure. This first one is a bear, and next to it there is actually an owl, but I colored it like a penguin. So this means, in my opinion, that this image is really versatile, and that's a good thing. But well, according to the My Favorite Things website, it's an owl. Then you have a bunny. Then in the middle of this paper is a dog. And then you have a fox. So these critters I'm going to use, well, I'm just saying it out loud because I was writing down the Copic combo that I'm using for each and every one. You can find those on my blog post. It's just easier for reference if you want to know exactly what I'm using and don't want to rewatch this. I was just doubting about the dog because I thought it might be a fox, but then you have the other fox. Well, long story short, it's a dog, but you can see it as any critter you want to. So I'm coloring this one in some more of a muted brown, which is one that I actually really like. I think I should do a card with this one more, featuring this color. Well, today I wanted to have lots of different color combinations to share with you, also because there are a variety of critters, but also if you look at the population itself, there are so many skin tones also for every animal, so why don't be versatile and have a lot of colors going on? So that's what I'm doing today. I have a really warm brown. The one from the bear is actually one of my first brown color combinations that I use really often, and then one of my markers ran out and I didn't have refills, so I went to other combinations, and actually it was a good thing because now I have lots of brown combinations. But I'm so glad that I now also have refills for some of my markers because, well, some combinations you just prefer. Then this combination I actually found recently. Well, probably someone already used it, but I wasn't aware. Well, first layer doesn't look good. I must be honest, it's each time that I'm doing this. But truly, if you add a second layer, I already think that you can see where it's going. It's just such a warm brown yellowish color. And if you don't want an orangey fox, but still want to have the idea of sort of going to the oranges, well, I think this works. So also went back and forth quite a while. Prefer doing that and be happy with the blend than just leaving it. But also, if you perhaps struggle with getting a blend going on, you have the idea that your paper is really wet, just let your images lay there for a bit or just go to another image, and then when everything is sort of soaked in the paper, you can add more layers if that's an issue. But from time to time I experience this with this paper. It allows me to add a lot of layers, but sometimes it sort of gets the idea of getting oversaturated, and then I just need to wait and come back when it's a bit more dry. So that's what I do then. Now onto the bunny. I have some really outspoken colors, so I decided to keep this one really light, soft, fluffy, using some of my warm grays, but just the light colors, not doing a crazy shadow or anything, just really soft. And then the owl or penguin will go with the darker warm grays. So I'm just making sure that the blend is good. Then I'm going to add those pink details and move on to the other image. Now, as you can see, most of the images only need two layers, but you add as many as you want to. Just make sure that if you want to add a lot of layers, that you have a paper that can handle a lot of alcohol markers on there, any alcohol markers. This paper really helps me to add lots and lots of layers. And I started first with the Nina, and I also really like that, but there are some limitations. Or at least I had. Sometimes, depending on which color and how much I needed to blend, I had some issues with bleeding. So almost ready. Just making sure that this final element also has a bit of shadow. And then onto the details. Now the details I colored in this scarf with blue and then the other one with a bit of yellow. Keeping in mind the sort of color scheme that I wanted to use on the background, which wasn't determined yet completely, but I knew that I wanted to have a really hopeful and bright background. So just went with yellow and blue. Those really reinforce each other. And now I'm going to use the matching dies to cut them all out. And then I can work on the background. Now this panel is slightly smaller than the frame that I'm using today. The Frame-Worthy Slimline Die by Crafty Meraki is a really versatile frame. I'm going to use the outer frame, and on this panel I'm going to create my own stripe background. Now maybe you have stencils, maybe you don't. If you don't have stencils that might have this width of stripes, or just you want to do something and you don't have that specific stencil, not everything is out there, a lot is out there, but not everything. If you have some washi tape that's easy to remove normally, if they are good ones, you just make your pattern with that. You can do some geometrics, you can do so many things with washis, and there are different widths from washis as well. I wanted this one, so that's why I used this adorable washi tape. And as you can see me doing, I am spacing them out using the grids on my craft mat underneath, and that actually helped me getting everything straight. Now the colors, I was picking them out, wanted to have yellow but also really warm yellow, so that's why the wild honey is there. And then I'm going to create my own sort of gradient over these stripes. So I don't mind going into the other stripes because that helps me actually, and I just want to have an adorable gradient, really warm bottom on this card, and then going into the blues. Well, if you go over the yellow with blue and back and forth, you get also a greenish color, so that helps as well. And I'm just using one brush. That might seem a bit strange, but this is a gradient, and I made sure to have all the colors underneath already good, and then I just had to do the transition between the yellow and the blues, and then all the blues. So that actually went quite quickly. You can do this with any ink combination that you really like. Also, you don't need to work with a gradient. It would also be cool just having one color, I think. But I just wanted to show this option to you. And then I'm slowly removing the washi tape. Really slowly. If you have washi tape that is more sticky, then maybe first add it to the palm of your hand, or just somewhere, or on your jeans or anything else, to get a bit of that stickiness off, and then add it to your panel if you think that it would otherwise rip your masterpiece that you're creating. But with my washi tape it was just fine. and that is my background panel. So I'm trying to out how I can actually put the images on there to see where the sentiment can go, and then I'm going to add this sentiment. I'm using the same ink as for the critters, just the Gina K Design Amalgam ink, and I'm stamping this one out. And then all the elements for this card are finished, so I can start assembling. Now again, first laying out the images because I want to tuck almost all of them underneath. So I'm first doing that, laying everything out. Then I'm going to add these images to the frame. Therefore, I'm just going to add a bit of adhesive to the frame itself. Pick up the images that are placed there, making sure that it is aligned straight. And then I can lift up this frame again, add all of the dimension that I want underneath it, using some Scotch 3M foam tape today. Actually here it would have been really smart to trim off the excess of the animals. I forgot completely. And then when I was going to add this frame to the rest, I was like, oh no, didn't cut off the excess. So I just quickly did that with some scissors. And then I could add this frame to my colorful panel that we just created. So most important was to have one of the shorter sides to be completely parallel with the lines that I created, because otherwise it would be a bit crooked underneath and it would seem like the lines weren't straight and all the effort was for nothing. So I made sure to do that, and then the rest would follow. Going to add the panel on a slimline card base. And then I added the fox. I apparently didn't film that. Strange. Going to add a few details with some glossy accents. I really like to add it to the noses, and then of course glasses. I also am going to add some final embellishments. These are the crystal clear heart droplets by Little Things from Lucy's Cards. Many other brands also have these, so maybe it's in your stack, but just with another brand. And I'm just adding them onto this panel a bit randomly. And once that's done, I can just add them with some liquid glue. And I don't think I'm adding anything more to this card. No, this is it. Once these are added, it's completely finished. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. If you liked it and you like the end result, you can always give it a thumbs up. We would truly appreciate it here at Crafty Meraki. I am listing all the supplies down below except for the Copic Markers. That's just handy on the blog. So I'm listing to the blog as well if you want to check that out. And that will be it. So I hope that you truly enjoyed it. I hope that you have a wonderful day left. And I promise to be back with some new crafty inspiration really soon. And I will see you then. Bye!